Hello, good evening.
Hi, Ruki. Good evening.
How are you? Sorry, I joined it.
Very well, and yourself?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. How's your day been?
Oh, been pretty busy. It's fine.
Yeah, I can imagine. Okay, I think we should just give people like till 8:10 before we go ahead and start. What do you think?
It's fine.
Okay, thank you very much.
Come.
Hi, Manuel. Welcome to everybody that just joined in. We are starting by next 1 minute. Emmanuel, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Ricky. Here.
Okay, so you can start exactly 8:10.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi, good evening, everyone. I thank you so much for joining to the session. Please can you confirm if you can hear me?
Loud and clear.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
we can
Hi,
hear you,
sir.
sir.
We can hear you. How are you doing, Emmanuel? You good?
Yes, we
Very
can
well.
hear you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so
This is
much for
Dio
confirming
talking,
that.
Mr. Emmanuel.
I Dayo.
Nice to see
Boss.
Yes,
you.
we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, thank you so much. I want to actually use this opportunity, first of all, to appreciate my boss, my friend, and my mentor, Dio, for inviting me to this session. All right, so I will be sharing my screen now. Please just confirm once you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. So today we'll be looking into Microsoft 365 billing, a deep dive. I'll just jump straight into it. So who am I? Let me just quickly introduce myself. I'm an IT professional with over 7 years of experience in IT infrastructure, cloud services, and productivity applications. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. I've been a Microsoft certified trainer since 2020, and I'm actually a Microsoft cloud technology advocate. I like anything Microsoft 365, Microsoft Azure. So that's actually the area where I specialize on. Then I currently work as a freelance consultant with Microsoft in the Microsoft 365 line of business. And at the moment, I'm a community lead for the Nigeria M365 community, where I actually work with a team of super experts and subject matter experts in Microsoft 365, where we train people on different workloads in Microsoft 365 technology. And if you want to connect with me, you can. That's actually my LinkedIn. That's actually the best place to reach me on because I'm super active on the LinkedIn. So anytime you connect with me, I'm happy to connect with you as well. So in today's session, what are we going to be looking at? We're going to look at a lot of things actually. One of the things we'll be looking at that is the different ways to purchase on the Microsoft 365 subscriptions. We'll be understanding what is your products management in Microsoft 365, then subscriptions and licenses. What is actually the difference between the two? Then we'll talk about bills and payments. We'll talk about billing accounts, billing profile, payment method, billing notifications, different types of Microsoft 365 subscriptions. Then we'll have a live demo and case scenarios with frequently asked questions. All right, so how do you purchase subscriptions? So basically, there are different ways you can actually purchase a Microsoft 365 subscription. You can either purchase from what we know known as a product page. I'm going during the demo, I will show us everything. A product page is actually a page where Microsoft are there are different subscriptions where you can actually purchase directly from there. We also have a place known as the marketplace or the purchase services. So for some tenants have been migrated to the marketplace. So you won't see purchase services Rather, you're going to see a marketplace. I'm going to show us that as well. Then the third place is you can purchase from a cloud solution provider. So we have different Microsoft partners globally. We call them resellers partner. They sell the subscriptions. So you can actually purchase. One of the use cases is maybe if you don't want to actually use your credit card to purchase directly from Microsoft using either from the product page or from the marketplace or purchase services, your other options is to actually reach out to a cloud solution provider or a reseller partner to actually purchase a subscription. And the last is actually the volume licenses. So there's a licensing portal for different enterprise organization, for example, now that needs a large volume of licenses. So volume licenses is actually one of the places you can actually purchase your subscriptions. So for product management itself, so the product management page in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center is actually where you do different management application after purchasing these subscriptions or those products. How do you manage them? So the product page, your product is actually where you do the management. And one of the things you can do, you can either add or remove licenses. You can also turn on or turn off recurring billing on your subscription. If you don't want Microsoft to actually charge you, maybe you're done with Microsoft, you don't want them to charge you again, you can actually turn it off. Or for example, maybe you actually purchase a trial subscriptions, for example, any trial subscription you purchase and you don't want Microsoft to start billing you on the trial. So you must actually turn off the recurring billing. Then the third thing that you can do is you can either update or replace payments method for any subscription that you have currently active. You can add the VAT ID. You can also check your subscription history on the portal. So how do you actually increase and decrease licenses? Now we have some subscriptions you can actually increase. Yes, for all subscription you can increase, while for some certain subscriptions you cannot actually decrease the license. So for example, now if you actually purchase a subscription from a reseller, for example, now on your own, you can't increase the subscription. You have to actually contact the cloud solution provider to help you to actually increase the number of licenses that you have in the tenant. Then for the commercial direct subscriptions, you have the opportunity to actually increase the subscription, but not decrease. So earlier this year, Microsoft introduced what we call the new commerce experience. Now, in the new commerce experience are simply subscription that you purchase with what we know known as the billing profile. So any subscription that you purchase with the billing profile, you cannot cancel the subscriptions after 7 days, neither can you reduce the number of licenses after 7 days. So that's a way of Microsoft saying that ensure you plan the number of licenses that you need in your tenant before you actually proceed to actually buying the subscription and increasing the licenses. Then for prepaid subscriptions, for example, these are subscriptions that you actually activate using a prepaid product key, for example. This subscription, all you need to do is to just reach out to the partner that actually sold the subscription for you, get a prepaid key, and there you have the option to either extend the end date or to increase the subscription. That's actually a mistake that different Microsoft customers usually make. Some of them, they will actually purchase after getting the product key. Instead of them to extend the end dates for the subscription, they will end up increasing the number of seat count, which is actually going to reduce the number of the expected end dates they're supposed to have for those subscriptions. So we've been talking about subscriptions, we're talking about licenses. What's actually the difference between the two? So a subscription actually is a product that was purchased based on the apps or services that the organization needs. So you pay for it on a recurring basis. So the product you purchase either from the product page, from a reseller, or from using a cloud provider or using a volume licenses, that what you purchase actually is all called subscription. But license is based on the number of people that you have in your organization that needs that specific services. So for example, now you purchase a Microsoft 365 business basic subscription, for example. Now let's say you're just a small business, you have 5 people in your team that you're working together. You need them to have email, like a mailbox. You need them to have access to Teams and SharePoint and OneDrive, for example. Now, so the subscription you're purchasing that you need for your organization at that point is Microsoft 365 Business Basic. Why the number of licenses? 5. You need for 5 people in your team. So the five licenses that you got, or the 5 seat count, is what we refer to as licenses. And you can actually check this up in this reference here. So the other area of the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, everything we're going to see them on the Admin Center. I just want to walk through the slide, then we'll do a live demo. So you see what known as the bills and payments. So under bills and payments, you're going to see invoices. That's the first tab we'll see there. So the invoice is actually the bill that is generated in 24 hours after you sign up for a Microsoft 365 subscription. So usually Microsoft does not give receipts. What Microsoft issue is all called invoice. So let's say today you decided, okay, let me start using Microsoft 365, and you go to the product page to purchase the subscription. So automatically in the next 24 hours, because the day you purchase the subscription is actually called your anniversary day from Microsoft perspective. So 24 hours after that day, which is anniversary day plus 1 day, is actually when the bill, your invoice will be generated for you. So that invoice is what you use to compare the amounts that Microsoft charged you when you purchase a subscription and the actual amounts, the bill that was sent to you. Then the next thing we're going to see is a payment method. So the payment method is simply the instrument that you use to pay for your subscription. We're going to see details on that in the next slide. Then the next thing you're going to see is a billing profile. So a billing profile is actually, it contains the payment method and the invoice information that is associated with your billing accounts. You get more information about that in the next slide, upcoming slide. So a billing profile is actually automatically created for you. So when you, from your product page, when you sign up for the subscriptions, automatically a billing account is created for you. Then a billing profile will also be associated to that billing account that has been created for you by Microsoft. So what do we mean by billing accounts and a billing profile? So a billing account, when you sign up for a trial or you buy a Microsoft 365 product, a billing account is automatically created for you, like I said earlier. So you use the billing accounts to manage your account settings, your invoices, your payments method, and the purchases from Microsoft. So it is a billing account that actually does all this. It helps you to manage your account settings, your invoices, your payments method, and your purchases from your Microsoft. So we have like 2 different type of billing accounts. We have the MOSA. MOSA is a Microsoft Online Subscription Agreement. So this is actually the billing account that was created when you sign up for Microsoft 365 subscription directly. So if you go to the product page, I will show us what the product page means. If you go to the product page and you sign up for a Microsoft 365 directly by yourself, the kind of billing accounts that Microsoft is going to create for you, we'll call it Microsoft Online Subscription Agreement. Then the second type is what we call MCA, Microsoft Customer Agreement. So this is a billing account that is created when your organization works with Microsoft representative. You're talking about Microsoft reseller, authorized partner, or they buy products and services independently. So when you're working with your organization or your business is working with a partner to get a subscription, the kind of billing account that will be created for you is a Microsoft Customer Agreement, the MCA. So for the first one, the MOSA, you receive an invoice for each order on the account anniversary day. That's the difference between the two now. The invoice, your account anniversary day plus 1. So let's say you set up the account today, you purchase a subscription today. Tomorrow, same time tomorrow in the next 24 hours, you're going to receive your invoice directly. But for the second time, which is the MCA, the Microsoft Customer Agreement, what happened is that you receive the invoice per billing profile between 5th and 6th day of every month. So between on the 5th, on the 6th, on the 7th, on the 8th, on the 9th of every month, that's when you receive your invoice. Though that's actually the difference between the two. The invoice is actually like a different topics that we'll cover in the future video. So I spoke about our bills and payments, and we'll talk about having invoices, payment method, and billing profile. So let's talk about payment method. So for Microsoft 365 subscription, how do you pay for the subscription? The first method we have is a credit card or a debit card. So you either at the product page, or maybe you're purchasing from the marketplace, for example, or your purchase services. You either have the option to add your debit card or credit card. In fact, if you're going to set up today, that is actually the only option that will be available for you. But for special consideration, you can actually request Microsoft for another payment method, which is invoice pay. So for this, you don't want to use a credit card or your debit card. You want to use an invoice pay. In other words, Microsoft is going to send you an invoice, and the invoice is going to contain information where you're going to do what we call EFT, electronic fund transfer, because the two options used to be available for invoice pay, either by check or by electronic transfer. So what happened is that Microsoft stopped payment by check earlier this year in April 21st. In April 21st, they no longer accept check. So on the invoice that you receive, is going to the bank details based on your location is going to be there for you to do your electronic fund transfer. And before you can be eligible for invoice pay, there are actually three things. There are three eligibility requirements. The first one is that you must be a Microsoft customer for at least 6 months. So automatically, if you're not a Microsoft customer for up to 6 months, that actually disqualifies you from actually having this option as a payment as a payment method. The second requirement is that you must be ready to pass a credit check. A credit check in the sense that Microsoft is going to verify if your business
Sorry, Emmanuel, you mute the mic, so we actually cannot hear you. You've just been talking. Your mic is mute.
I didn't know when I pressed that. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. So where did I stop? Where did I stop?
You're talking about the invoice pay.
Oh, okay, right. So let me go over there again. So for invoice pay, there's what we call eligibility requirements for invoice pay. So before Microsoft, by default on the admin center, the only option that is available is credit card or debit card. So, but you can request Microsoft to enable invoice pay option for you. So for invoice pay, there are three eligibility requirements. The first one is that you must be a Microsoft customer for at least 6 months. So that means if you're maybe you're a new customer to Microsoft, you're just maybe less than 6 months, automatically you are not qualified for that for the invoice pay. The second requirement is that you must be ready to pass a credit check. So Microsoft is going to send you some details for you to fill in. It could be your customer, your registration details, your company address, and all that. So when you pass that, Microsoft, once you provide those information, Microsoft is going to verify it. And the third option is that you must actually be paying Microsoft. There's a threshold, the minimum amount you must be paying to Microsoft for all your subscription per month. So before there was an update, as of last year, the amount used to be $6,000 per month. So if you don't meet that threshold, that means this option, the invoice pay, will not be enabled for you. But that has been changed. But however, at least you must be paying a substantial amount for your subscription. So this is actually for enterprise organization that has a lot of seat counts, a lot of licenses in the organizations. Those are the organization that actually uses the invoice pay. Then the other option, which used to be old option, we call them bank accounts. So like, for example, now a lot of countries are not actually qualified for this. As I'm talking to you, just about 3 countries, Netherlands and some other country that is actually qualified. So bank account is simply, you're telling Microsoft, you're using your account details. It is a form of direct debit. So Microsoft would debit directly from your bank account, but it's not general for everybody. What is common for everybody is the credit card and the debit card option. Then the last option is so this is special for customers in Indian. So we have the UPI and the net banking. UPI simply stands for Unified Payment Interface. So it's actually a payment in a real-time payment method. Like you use it once and for all. Why the net banking is like a form of an internet banking that provides customer with access to banking services on an online platform. So this is only available for customers in Indians, but every other method is available for the credit card is available for everybody, while the bank account is only for about 3 countries. The invoice pay, you must meet the eligibility requirements, those 3 eligibility requirements before that will be enabled for you. The same way Microsoft enabled the invoice pay, that's way the same way they enabled the UPI and net banking. Because I remember there was a time that the Bank of India requested that Microsoft or different online vendors should remove Indian credit card from their portal. So because of that, Indians were having issues paying for their subscription and all that. So this UPI and net banking was actually designed specially for them so that they'll be able to pay for their Microsoft 365 subscriptions. All right. So the last part in the admin center you're going to see under the billing part is all called billing notification. So the billing notification page lets you to manage who receives billing notification emails for your organization, and things that you can do in the billing notification page. You can change the language that you receive the email in. You can change who receive billing notifications. You can also assign admin rules by using the billing notification page. You can remove admin rules by using the billing notification page also. You can also change the email addresses for admins in the same place. You can change your organization contact email. Then you can also receive your organization's invoices as email attachments. All right, let's jump into a demo. Let's see, enough of the story. Let's check some things from the admin center. All right, so you can sign into your Microsoft 365 admin center by going to your, either use portal.office.com or office.com, whichever way, or use admin.microsoft.com. Those are the 3 ways you can actually sign in. So once you sign into office.com with your account, you're going to get this page. So if you have the right privilege, if you're an admin, a global admin or billing admin, you'll be able to see the admin tabs here. So you click on the admin. So that will take you to the admin center. So from the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, what you can see here, you can see the billing tab here. So when you click on the billing tab, everything I discussed in the slide from your product, licenses, bills and payments, billing accounts, they're actually here. But the first thing first is actually, how do you purchase? So you go to your product page. So this is what I mean by product page. So once you type compare Microsoft 365 subscriptions, so we have different products. It's actually the last part of my slide, different type of subscriptions. We have the standalone, we have the small business, we have the enterprise, the frontline. So this is an example of product page. So let's say, for example, now I'm a new customer to Microsoft and I need Microsoft 365 Business Basic for my organization now. So I can easily come to this product page. So if I want to try, for example, okay, let me see how the product works. I can click on this try for free for 1 month, and I'll be able to try and see. Or if I just say, okay, I'm used to Microsoft. I love Microsoft products. Let me just buy now. So I can just click on buy now. So what is going to happen is that it's going to actually take me to a page where to actually set up my tenants. All right, it's taking time to load up. So it's taking me to a page to actually set up a tenant. So it's because I'm signing with an account that already have a Microsoft 365 subscription, business subscription, for example now. So it recognizes these accounts. But hadn't been, I was not signed into this particular portal, into this account. So it's going to actually tell me to, okay, I can log out and create a new account, put in my personal account. Then I follow through the process. I'll be able to create my tenant. I think one of your sessions, Dario is actually taking you guys through the process of actually creating accounts. So I just wanted to show us a product page, how it looks like. So you can buy a subscription from this product page, or you reach out to a partner reseller. So the second place is from your admin center. So I mentioned marketplace. So after you've set up your tenants and you need other subscriptions, or you want to increase the number of licenses that you have, then you have the marketplace. So some tenants have been migrated to marketplace. Why some tenants, what you will see is your purchase services. Let me show you. I have another tenant that has not been migrated. All right, so this is a different tenant that has not been migrated. So the first thing you will see is purchase services. So for the tenant that we migrated, you're going to see marketplace. So they are basically the same thing. This is actually where you purchase. So let's say I already have business basic in my organization. I need business standard. So all I just need to do, either I use a search here to search for if I know the exact subscription that I want to purchase, or I can just use this category to filter. Okay, I need all subscription that is Microsoft 365 is going to provide them for me here. If I need Office 365 subscription, it's going to provide them for me. And by the way, Microsoft 365 subscriptions are actually different from Office 365 subscription because they have more features than the Office 365. Like for example, now we have this Office 365 E3. If you come to the Microsoft 365 here, we also have the Microsoft 365 E3. Okay, those are you can get them from the product page, basically. So they have more features than. Let me click on one of them and see if I will get more information for them to compare with the others. I want to see if it's going to compare. All right, so we have here Office 365 E3. Then we also have Microsoft 365 E3. So basically, these two subscriptions are actually different because this one with the Microsoft 365 E3 has more feature than this one with Office 365 E3. I'm going to share some link for you to compare each of those subscriptions so you can see the features. So if I'm purchasing from your purchase services or from the marketplace here, so those subscriptions I purchased from those places, we call them commercial direct purchases. Basically, you're going to see them. So before I go to purchase anyone here, if you notice, I have Office 365 E3 month to month here. Then I have Office 365 E3 without month to month. These two subscriptions are different. They're actually the same subscriptions, but the prices, if you notice, the prices are different. This one is giving me $32.20, while this is giving me $23.20. $23 rather, 0 cent there. So for what is actually the difference between these two? So this one that has month to month is actually what we call a monthly commitment subscriptions. Now, for Microsoft 365, we have monthly pay, monthly commitments. We have monthly pay, yearly commitments. Then we have yearly pay and yearly commitments. So for this one that is E3 here, if I click on this one, I'm telling Microsoft that, oh, I'm only committed to you on a monthly basis. So because of that, I don't have discounts here. But because I'm telling Microsoft here, okay, I'm committed to you yearly basis, but I can choose to pay either monthly or yearly. If I click on details here, you will see that the only option that is available, the billing frequency, which is either monthly or yearly, that is available is monthly for this one here. But if I go back here and select the other one, I have the option either to pay for the subscription either on a monthly basis or on a yearly basis. But what is important is that because I'm telling Microsoft that I'm committed to you guys for yearly, so that's why they gave me that discount. Look at the different amounts between $32.50 and $23. So for this now, so either I'm paying monthly, I'm paying yearly. If you multiply this by 12, it's the same amount here. So it's because of the commitment. That's a bonus. So for this now, I can also choose to start free trial here. So if you have not tried the subscription, for example, at all before, you have the option to try it for the first 30 days. Now, if you feel that, oh, I'm not ready to pay, I still want to try more, you have the option to extend it for another 30 days, making 60 days. But at the point of extension, what Microsoft is going to tell you is that, okay, put in your credit card. Then after extending for 60 days, maybe I still need another 30 days. Then you're going to contact Microsoft and say, oh, I'm still trying the subscription. Can you extend for another 30 days? So at the maximum, you can try the subscription for 90 days. So the billing frequency is either I want to pay monthly or I want to pay yearly. So when you click on buy here, for example, so it's going to take us to a page where we need to put in our card details and all that. So because of security reasons, I'm not going to be able to do that on this call, but it's actually something that is actually straightforward, but I'm going to emphasize on some things. So it's going to tell me my card number, the security code. So I'm going to put in basically my card details. If you notice down here, the Nigeria, which is my country or region, is grayed out. Why is it so? Why is it grayed out? how come I cannot change that? Now, when I was setting up this tenant, I was setting it up for Nigeria. That means the only card I can use on this tenant is a Nigerian card. So let's say, for example, now my business, I relocated my business from Nigeria. Maybe the headquarters is now in the United States, for example, now, and I still want to continue using this tenant. The only card I can still use is a Nigerian card. I cannot use a United States card. Why? Because when I was setting up this tenant and I was choosing this region, I chose Nigeria. The reason why this region cannot be changed is because when you're setting up the tenant at the first, as you're selecting the region, Microsoft is going to ensure that all your data is actually in the data center that is closer to your region. So that's why you cannot change. So if I now relocate my headquarters to the United States and I don't have access to Nigerian card, what do I need to do? So at that point, what I need to do is to actually create another tenant and select the region or the country for that tenant to be United States. Then I will do what we call tenant to tenant migration. So all my data on this tenant, emails, SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, any data that I need, then I'll do a migration of those data to the new tenant. But for this region, the region cannot be changed. So you have to take note of that. So if you're supporting your customer, you have to let them know that once a region has been selected, even though, because I've seen a lot of case scenarios in which a region has been selected and yet the customer relocated the headquarters and they want to continue using the tenant and yet they don't have the card of that particular tenant, of that particular tenant, because they are not in a new country. So the two options, either they get the card of that region or they create another tenant in their new region and do a migration of their tenant. So when all this information has been filled, including your tax ID and all that, this option to place order will be enabled for you. So once it's enabled, and before then, let me go back one step. Let me see if I can go back one step. So I mentioned that the number of seat counts, that the number of licenses rather. So I have the option to select the number. Let's say I need five. I have five people in my team, in my organization. So I'll select that. So it's going to calculate that for me. I want to be paying monthly, or if I want to just pay outrightly for the entire year, I'll select this option. Then I'll click on buy. So the same way, put in the card details. And once the details is correct, you must ensure that the details on your card corresponds to the details that you have with where you got the card from. This will be enabled for you. Once you click on place order, the subscription will be purchased for you. So that's actually the second way to purchase subscription after. So if from the product page, so it's going to bring it to this page. So if you have the tenant set up already, but if you don't have the tenant set up already, it's going to just walk you through the process of putting your card. It's the same process too. Once you place order, you wait for some time. It's going to load your order, and you will see the subscriptions available for you. So that's how to. Then the third way is to look for a partner reseller, where you can have an handshake with them, tell them that you need a subscription, and they will purchase for you, they will activate for you, they'll get to tenant details and activate the subscription for you. So the next place we're going now is your products. So product management, I said in my slide that in the product page, we have the option to add subscriptions, to do a lot of things. So for example, on this tenant now, these are all the products I have. So each individual here, like now, let me put an example. This product, Microsoft Power Apps for Developer, for example, now, this is my subscription. Why this is my license is 10,000. So that's different between subscription and license now. So this is my subscription for this particular product, and this is the licenses. I have 10,000 seats for this particular subscription. This is not giving me full details information. Let me jump to the other tenants so we can have more information. So your products. So I want to manage this, my products, for example, now I click on this product. So because this is a trial subscription that I got in from my MCT, first thing first is that I can see the number of licenses I've purchased, and I can also see the licenses I've assigned. So for this subscription, I have 25 licenses. Why out of the 25 licenses, 21 has been assigned. So if this wasn't a trial subscription, for example, now, if it was a paid subscription, what is going to happen is that where I have these assigned licenses, I'm going to see a button that says add or remove. Add or remove. So once I click on add or remove, it's going to bring up a rights pane information where I can choose to add subscriptions or remove subscription. Now, because of the new commerce experience, subscription that are purchased with a billing profile, what happened is that any subscription that has been purchased with a billing profile, after 7 days, you cannot cancel the subscription and you cannot reduce the number of licenses. So we see a lot of cases every now and then when customers, maybe they have 6 people in their team. Out of the 6 people in their team, 4 people have resigned. Now they only need 4 licenses. In the process, they want to reduce the number of licenses. It's not possible. So you have to just tell the customer by the policy, you show them the article. There's a public article to show the customer that after 7 days, it is not possible for you to actually reduce the number of licenses or cancel the subscription. There's a workaround. I will get to the workaround very soon for that. So the next thing you see is a recurring billing. So I mentioned that in the product page, you can actually turn on or turn off recurring billing. Now for this subscription now, the recurring billing is greater because it's actually a trial subscription now. So when you click on the recurring billing, if this was a paid subscription, for example, now you'll be able to you see the option to either turn it on or turn it off. This is currently showing off now, for example, now. So if it was a paid subscription, I can turn it on in the sense that I don't want the subscription to be disabled or expired. I want my billing, my credit card to be automatically charged. If this recurring billing is turned off, for example, what happens is that your credit card is not going to be charged and the subscription will go to a disabled state. So you have to come back here. Once the subscription has been disabled, you'll see the option to reactivate the subscription. There'll be something like a yellow banner here, and you see the option to click on reactivate subscription. So at the point of reactivating subscription, it's going to turn on the recurring billing for you. Now, this tells me also when this subscription is going to expire, which is on the 6th of November. Now, because this is a trial subscription, I have the option to extend the end date, but this is not the ordinary trial subscription. This trial was actually activated with my Microsoft Certified Trainer subscription. It's actually a developer subscription. You don't extend any developer subscription yourself. So what happened is that Microsoft extend it on their own because they use some telemetry data. So from the telemetry data, if you are doing development activity on their own, they will extend it. But if it was a case of any other subscription that is So if it was any other subscription that is a trial, for example, now you will see the option to, let me look for any of the trial that I have recently. I don't have any recent trial here. All right. So you have the option to actually extend the trial. In that case, you're going to put in your credit card information. You'll be able to extend it for another 30 days. And if you need the trial to be extended again for another 30 days, all you just need to do is to come to your show all, click on support, and click on help and support and raise a support request with Microsoft. Tell them you want to extend the trial. They will ask you for a business justification. Once they review the business justification and discover that, okay, this is actually a good reason why we should extend the trial will be extended for you. Then the next thing here is to edit your service usage. Yeah, this is actually because it's a developer's tenant or a developer's tenant. This is also greater for me. When you click on the extend service usage address, you see the option to actually add your VAT ID there. So if you need to pay VAT to your government, for example, now you need to pay VAT to Microsoft pay VAT to your government, you have the option to actually add your VAT ID. Now, if I'm done with the subscription, I don't want to do anything with the subscription. I mentioned that you can cancel subscription only if the subscription is a legacy subscription or if the subscription is a new commerce experience subscription that is purchased in less than 7 days. If it's more than 7 days, you not be once you click on this cancel subscription, you will not be able to actually cancel the subscription for you. But because this is not this is not actually a new commerce experience, I can actually click on the cancel subscription and cancel the subscription here for this subscription. Then we have what we call add-on as well. Then yeah, you see this the subscription history here. So it tells me this is, so I've not done anything to this subscription actually since I purchased in March 10, 2022. I've not reduced the seat count. I've not increased the seat count. That's why. But if you have done any of those changes, maybe you've reduced the number of seat counts, you increase the number of seat counts, you will see all the history listed here. All right, let me go back to the other tenant. I want to show us one more thing before we go to the licenses. Now, I have a list of all the subscriptions on my tenant here. Now, I'll be able to see the assigned licenses, the purchase quantity, the subscription status. Now, all the subscription I have here, they are currently active. They tells me where to renew. Then the purchase channel is going to tell me, okay, this subscription, was it purchased directly from Microsoft? So any subscription you see commercial direct here, it means that either the subscription was purchased from your product page, or it was purchased directly from purchase services or marketplace. If the subscription was purchased from a reseller, you went to a cloud solution provider to purchase subscription, what you're going to see here under the purchase channel is going to be reseller. Now, the other option, if the subscription was activated by using a prepaid product key, you're going to see prepaid here. Those are the three purchase channel you're going to see here. Commercial direct, you purchase it directly from Microsoft, either from your purchase services, your marketplace, or from the product page. Why for the reseller, you have an handshake with the partner reseller, and they activated the subscription for you. You're going to see reseller here. If it was a product key you used to activate the subscription, you're going to see a prepaid product key here. Now, I want to see other subscription that I have in the past. Maybe they've been deleted, they've been disabled. I can click on the filter option here and select, okay, I want to see subscription that have been deleted. Now, this shows me other subscription I had. So I had other trials in the past that have been deleted. So I'll be able to see other subscription. Then if I want to add other columns too, these are the current columns I have. I can click on choose column. So let's say, what do I want to see in the column? I want to see, okay, the billing frequency or the purchase dates, for example. I can add anyone I feel like, or I want to see the billing accounts associated to each of the subscription. I click on save. But because this, so I mentioned that billing accounts are actually automatically created for you. So yeah, I can see the purchase dates for each of the subscription when I purchase them here. So you can actually do different, you can use different filters or add different columns based on what you want. Let me remove this and save it. And I can remove the filter. I don't want to see subscription have been deleted. I just want to see my active subscription, and I can do that. All right, the next thing we're going to go into is licenses. Now, why is the licenses important? Give me 1 minute. Now, I mentioned that we can purchase from your product page, your purchase services page, and also from a partner reseller. Now, you must note that any subscription you purchase from a partner reseller, the way we assign licenses that are commercial direct is different from the way we assign licenses for subscription that we purchase from partner reseller. What do I mean? Now, for every subscription I purchase directly, if I go to users, active users, let me look for a user that is not licensed and assign the license. So I have this user here called Bio. If I want to assign the license, I'll just click on Bio. It's going to bring the right pin here. I'll click on licensing and apps. Then depending on the license I want the user to have access to, I'll just select, and save changes. This is actually a way to assign subscriptions that are commercial direct. Now, subscriptions that are purchased from a partner reseller, you're not going to see, you'll not be able to assign it this way because the subscription is not going to show. Sorry. Let me close this. I'm not adding a user. Yes. The license is not going to show. It's not going to be listed here under my licensing and apps here. So for those subscriptions that were purchased from a partner reseller, I need to go to this licenses page here. This is where the license is going to show, and this is where the license is going to show in your product page. But to assign the licenses to the users, I need to come to this licenses page, and I will see the option to, because I don't have a partner reseller subscription here. If I select the subscription, for example, now, let's say this is an example of a partner reseller subscription. I will now see the option to assign the license here for the partner reseller. This is the only way you can actually assign the license. So you see customer raising a support request that I'm working with a partner reseller and they've activated a license on my tenants. But after going to users, active users, licenses and apps, I'm unable to see the licenses. The reason is because they can't assign those partner resellers subscription like that with those licenses. So you have to come here, go to licenses, then from the licenses, click on the assign licenses, then search for the user's email that you want to assign the license. Once you search for the user will pop up here and you'll be able to assign the subscription because I've assigned the license for this one. So it's telling me that this is already has a license already. So that's actually how you assign subscription that you purchase from a reseller. It's different from commercial direct subscriptions. So the next one is bills and payments. So I mentioned in my slide that in bills and payments, we're going to see invoices, payments method, and billing profile. So for my subscriptions, I have invoices here. So if you see here now, it's telling me that the invoices I have here is past 3 months invoices. So if I want to see past 6 months, for example, I can select it. So it's going to give me past 6 months invoices. And something you have to note in your bills and payments page is that you can only see 6 months invoices at a go. So let's say, for example, I want to see my invoices from the year from January 2022 to date. So what I need to do is to click on past 6 months here. I will now click on specify dates range here. Then I'll select from where I'll go back to January 2022. Now you notice that it's from January 22 to June 2022. So because I don't have invoices, then he didn't provide any invoice for me. Let me go to January 2023, for example. So this tenant has not been activated. So I had invoices from January 2023 to, I can only select to June 2023. So it's going to provide invoices from January 2023 to June 2023. You can only see 6 months invoice at a go. So you can actually backdate till when even till when the tenant was actually created. You can see all your invoices there. Now, apart from invoices, there are 2 other things you see here. But because here, if you see the bills amount here, so I will see my invoice ID. The invoice dates will be shown here. The invoice ID, the type of documents. Now, Microsoft will give you 3 types of documents, but because I don't have any paid subscription, what I have here is a bill amount, and I also have I can view the details of the invoice. Now, if this was a paid subscription, for example, now, if I click on these 3 ellipses, I will see 3 other options. I will see invoices, I will see credit notes, and I will also see tax invoices. Now, the invoices is actually my bill, what I'm paying to Microsoft. Now, if I'm able to cancel a subscription and I'm eligible to any refund, what Microsoft is going to provide is what we call credit notes. The credit note is going to tell me the amount of refund I'm eligible to. So let's say I receive a credit note today, for example, now, 7 to 10 business days after receiving that credit note, then in my payment instrument, which is my credit card or my debit card, I'm going to receive the refund between 7 to 10 business days. But because I don't have a paid subscription and I've not canceled any subscription, I'm not going to see it. So Microsoft is going to tax me also. So the tax, so there's also a tax invoice. So any tax I'm paying to Microsoft based on my location, a tax invoice is also going to be generated here. So when I click on this, so if I want to see the credit note or the invoice or the tax invoice, I will see the option here. But currently, because I don't have a paid subscription on this tenant, what I have is I can download the PDF version of my invoice, and I can also see the invoice details. If I click on download PDF now, it's going to download the PDF version of this invoice for me. I'll click on save here. So this has been downloaded for me here. I can click on open to see my invoice. I'm not going to go into this invoice because invoicing is a different topic on its own. So I'll be able to see the invoice, the details and all that. I'm not going to go into that because I don't have much time. So the next thing is the payment method. So I mentioned payment method, a credit card, a debit card, or invoice pay, a bank payment or UPI or net banking that is available for Indian customer. I'm going to go because we still have payment method here, so I'm not going to talk about that much here. Then we have billing profile. So I mentioned that billing profile is actually automatically created for us when a billing account is created. I'm going to talk about that in the next. So we'll talk about billing accounts. So I mentioned that billing accounts is actually used to manage our purchasing relationship between Microsoft. So I mentioned two different type of the billing accounts. We have the MOSA and the MCA. So here automatically, this is something that you don't have to do. So for here now, I have for this billing account because this subscription was actually purchased directly from Microsoft. What I have is the MOSA here. If you notice it, my time is fast spent. So I have the MOSA, the Microsoft Online Subscription Agreement, because I actually activated the subscription directly. I didn't go through a partner reseller. So if I click on the billing account here, I'll be able to see other details. I can add my tax ID here. So this tells me my SOTO address. I can edit. It's the same address here that I have on my invoice here because I have my SOTO address, I have my B2 address, I also have my service usage address. Their discussion for another time. Then I can actually check my agreement with Microsoft here by clicking on this. Then if I have a registration number, maybe I'm registered with my government, I can add those information here. So let's jump into the payment method. So I can choose to add my payment method here. Like I said, I have the option to add the payment method, a credit card or a debit card, just the same way when we want to purchase a subscription. It's the same thing. The card details, the security code at the back of the card, the expiration month, the expiration year, all the card details, it must match. So it's the same thing that we saw when we wanted to purchase subscription from the product page. Then I mentioned that this is actually the only method that is available for you by default. So if you are eligible for invoice pay, if you qualify, if you're a Microsoft customer for 6 months, then if you pass a credit check, then also if you meet a minimum threshold, you can reach out to Microsoft and they will enable the invoice pay option for you. And if you are customers from India, for example, now you can also request Microsoft to enable the UPI payment method or the net banking payment method. And the last thing we're going to look at from the admin center before we jump back into the slide, because I still have some other things in the slide to show us case scenarios and also frequently asked questions. So our billing notifications here, you can edit your notifications. Now, I have my email address here for my organization. If you go to settings here and you go to your organization settings here, go to organization profile here, you'll be able to see your organization information here. So this is like the technical contact information. Let me go back to the notification page, the billing notification page. So I mentioned that for the billing notification page, you can change your billing admin here. You can change your global admin. You can assign any of those roles to any users or previous or current users you have in your organization. You can do all those in your billing notification. And if you also want Microsoft to send your billing notification to you via email, what you're going to have is that you have the option to actually, if I scroll down, I'm seeing my billing admin because I don't have email address. So that's I'm having error here. So this is a global admin from the tenant. I have the alternate email address. This also another global admin on the tenant. So if I have a billing admin, it's going to actually list all the billing admin notes. It's only billing admin and global admin that will be receiving the notifications. All right, I'm going to jump back into the slide for us to continue what I have for us. All right, so please confirm if you can see my slide.
Yes, I can see your slide.
All right, thank you. So we have different type of subscriptions from our product page. So we have the standalone subscriptions. So let's say, for example, now what your organization needs is you just need an mailbox. You don't need Teams, you don't need SharePoint, you don't need OneDrive, you don't need those ones. So you can purchase the Exchange alone, Exchange Online, either plan 1 or plan 2. The plan 1 will give you access to having a 50 gig storage, while the plan 2 will give you 100 gig storage. So we have different standalone subscription. We have SharePoint Online plan 1 or plan 2. We have the Microsoft Teams standalone subscriptions. We have the Exchange Online standalone subscription. We also have the OneDrive for Business. Maybe what you need is storage. We have the OneDrive for Business plan 1 and plan 2. Those are the standalone subscriptions that we have. Then we have the small business subscription. Earlier, I showed us the product page earlier where we have the business basic, the business standard, the business premium, and the apps for business subscription. Those are the small business subscription. And for a small business subscription, the maximum number of licenses that you can have for this subscription is 300. So if you have an enterprise subscription, enterprise organization, for example, that have 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 users, you cannot use the business the small business subscription is not actually best fit for you. Why? Because the maximum number of licenses that you can have for those small business subscriptions is 300. Then for the enterprise subscriptions, we have the E3, the E1, the E5. They also have the Microsoft 365 E3, the E5, and the E3 and the E5 and all that. Then we have the frontline subscriptions, which are the F1 and F3. I will show us on the browser. We have the educational subscriptions, the A1, the A3, the A5. Then we also have the government subscription, the G1, the G3, the G5. We have the non-profit subscription also. Then we have more SharePoint storage subscription. Maybe in your tenants, you've exhausted your subscriptions for your SharePoint storage. You can actually request, you can buy a SharePoint storage subscriptions. So I want us to go through a bit of some case scenarios. So one of the case scenarios, I think I've answered this, is that customer is requesting that I want to change my tenant location. I can't change it. I think I mentioned, can somebody tell me what's this case scenario, how you advise customer? Can somebody tell me how you advise customer? I think I mentioned it earlier. Customer said, I want to change.
Because your card details which you put for the payment is already the region is where you are, and that's the data that you're going to be giving to you, so you cannot change it except you want to create another buy another product.
All right, thank you very much for that. So basically, it's because of the data center. When you set up
sorry, please, sorry to cut you short. I have a question concerning that.
Oh, we're going to get a question and answer. You ask a question, okay? We're going to get Q&A session. You ask a question. Let me just run through the slide and have a Q&A session. All right, no worries. So basically, because of the data center, when I set up my tenants to be in US, for example, now, so the data centers where my data, due to global policies, where my data will be hosted will be in the United States. So that's actually why the customers cannot change the tenant's location. Then customer is saying that I'm unable to cancel subscription or reduce the number of my licenses. So I mentioned that newcomers experience, once it's after 7 days, you cannot cancel the subscription and you cannot reduce the number of licenses. The next case scenario, customer is saying that I cannot change my billing frequencies from monthly to yearly, or I cannot change from yearly to monthly. The same thing that is applicable to the second case scenario is also applicable to this. So for newcomers experience, once a subscriber is purchased a billing profile, you cannot change the billing frequency. The only time you are only allowed to change the billing frequency is either when you are upgrading the subscription or you're purchasing another subscription. Then the next one is that customer is saying that I'm unable to try a subscription or extend my trial subscription. So it is possible that customer has already tried that particular subscription before. So in that case, customer will not be able to try that particular subscription again. Then it's also possible that customer has extended the trial for more than 90 days. So after 90 days, you will not be able to extend your trial again. Another case scenario is that customer is saying that, I want to buy an add-on. I'm unable to buy an add-on. So add-on subscription are just like subscription that you buy to augment, to add more features. Like for example, now we have what called Microsoft Teams. So we have the the team's phone systems, for example, call them calling plans, for example, now. So there are some features that maybe you want calling plan, for example, now as an add-on. You have a team phone system. Now the team phone system, if you purchase from a partner reseller and you're coming to your product page or you're coming to the marketplace or your purchase services to buy it, you will not be able to even see the add-on at all, not to talk of buying it. Why? Because your base subscription, which is your phone system or Microsoft Teams subscriptions, was not purchased directly from the admin center or was not a commercial direct subscription. So in that case, you have to reach out to your partner reseller to buy the add-on for them to activate the add-on for you. Another case scenario, customer is saying that I'm unable to delete my payment method. I don't want to have anything to do with Microsoft again, but I'm unable to delete my payment method. You can only delete payment method when the payment method, which is a credit card or your debit card, is not associated to a particular subscription. So if you have a subscription, be it active or disable subscription, and the payment method is still associated with that subscription, you will not be able to delete it. What you can do is to replace the payment method with another credit card. After replacing it, then that way you'll be able to delete the payment method. All right, those are the common case scenarios. We have a lot of other case scenarios also that we can deal with. I think we can, since this is the next session is actually talking about frequently asked questions. So I think I can take some questions now. If you have questions, please, you can ask your questions.
Okay. Talking about canceling subscription. If someone buys a license for yearly and then change location and the license is still active, and since the new location, she needs to like move the tenant to the new one, I buy the subscription.
All right, thank you so much for that question. That's a very, very good question. So basically, when you want to migrate, you are already in a new location and you need to migrate your data from the current tenants to the new tenants. By the way, we call the accounts tenants. So what you're going to do is that you have to contact Microsoft after creating the new tenant, because there must be a proof that you already purchased a new subscription. So once you contact Microsoft, they will cancel for you from the back end. So that is the workaround I said I was going to talk about. Microsoft will cancel for you from the back end, provided you already have a new tenant and you purchase the subscription on the new tenant. So just contact Microsoft, they will cancel for you.
Okay, then. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? Do you have any other questions?
I have a question. Good evening,
Please go ahead. Good evening. Good evening. Sorry, I can't see your name. Yeah, go ahead.
I had my hand raised.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So, in a situation where a user, or let's say a tenant, right, was using invoice payment method, and all of a sudden they can't find that payment option any longer when trying to purchase a subscription, how are we going to work around that?
All right. Thank you so much, Chizzy, for that question. So basically, the customer has purchased before with an invoice pay. So definitely on that tenant, they're going to see under payment method, they will see invoice pay. They will have, if they go to your product page, right? They will see a particular subscription that is active that was purchased with invoice. So that is actually the proof that Microsoft needs. So what you need to do is that just raise a ticket, contact Microsoft that have been on invoice pay. I have invoice pay for this particular subscription and I don't want to add my credit card. Please, I'm trying to purchase another subscription. Please activate an invoice pay for me. So that will be activated for you. And you'll be able to pay, you'll be able to purchase that new subscription using the invoice pay. Does that answer your question?
I actually have a scenario like that, so I'm actually looking for a workaround to sort out for the customer.
It's a backend issue. You have to raise an escalation, raise a collaboration, with SME. So
Okay.
they will escalate it to SCs. So SCs will have to activate that option for the customer. That's a very good scenario. Thank you very much for that question.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other question, guys? All right, so let's go
Good evening.
into.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry
Promise, go ahead,
for.
please. Go ahead, please, Promise.
So I
Thank
wanted
you.
to the last statement you made, not before this next section. You said something about, okay, if a client doesn't want anything to do with Microsoft anymore and he wants to remove the payment option it's currently on, he has to replace it with another one. But
Okay,
like you
so
rightly said, he doesn't want anything to do with Microsoft. Why does he have to
yes,
still put
yeah.
the
Let me
payment option
correct.
there?
Let me correct that. Thank you very much for that. So if a client doesn't want to have anything to do with Microsoft, so all they need to do is just to raise a ticket. I want to close down this tenant, and they will, and this will actually be escalated to the back end. So all the subscriptions. So what usually happen in the support process is that a template will be sent to the customer to provide an approval. So once the approval has been provided, the ticket will be escalated to SCs and the tenant will be closed. Everything on the tenant, the customer's payment method, credit card will be removed completely. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Thank you very
All
much.
right. Thank you very much for that. Masha, please go ahead with your question.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
I really want to understand the region change of region stuff you talked about. Like
Oh, okay.
like I want to know. It's like you mentioned migration, like from one tenant, maybe tenant of the old region to a new tenant in the new region. So I want to understand how that works. Is it like Microsoft from the backend will just change the region of the old region to the new region, or
Okay.
they will end this very particular old tenant, and so you can start a new one. You see what you're saying?
All right. Thank you so much for that question, Masha. That's a very good question. So basically, what you're going to do is that you're going to set up a new tenant. So if you're an expert, if the customer rather is an expert, so there is Microsoft documentation for migration, how to migrate your emails, your mailbox, how to migrate your SharePoint data, your OneDrive data, your Teams data. That's if the customer is an old customer that has a lot of data. So basically, Microsoft is not going to do any migration for you. So either you're an expert, you can do it yourself, or you contact, there's what called Microsoft Fast Track, or they are cloud solution provider. They help clients or Microsoft customers to perform those migrations. So the customer, either the customer is an expert, there are documentations how to migrate from Exchange Online, from a tenant to tenant migration. There are documentations for that, right? So Microsoft is not doing anything for you. Microsoft is going to advise you to work with a fast track or a reseller, a cloud solution provider that will help you to perform those migration. So after that migration has been completed, then you can now request Microsoft to close down these tenants. So all your data, of course, the data has been migrated to the new tenant. So everything, your subscription, you can delete, you can close the tenants, and Microsoft can help it to you close the tenants completely for you. So it's something that you have to do yourself, not Microsoft doing for you. I hope that answer your question.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Guys, you have any other question? All right, so I have some.
Sorry, one more. Sorry
All right, go
for
ahead, Promise. No,
interrupting.
go ahead, Promise. Go ahead, please.
Okay, in this case of region transfer now, and the likelihood of you having to change your subscription to another subscription. If the subscription is still ongoing and you have to get change it to another one, what about the monetary implication if there
Okay,
is
so
one?
all right, thank you so much. So what Microsoft advice is that in the new tenant that you're setting up, don't start paying yet. Activate a trial. So that's what we tell customer. Activate a trial because we know that you're already paying in a different tenant. So the trial, because you are performing a migration, that is actually an enough business justification for you. So you can tell Microsoft that I'm performing a migration and it's going to take some amount of time. So if it needs 3 months, 90 days, you can tell Microsoft, please, I want to be on trial for 90 days. So once you've completed migrating from the old tenant to the new tenant, you cannot change your trial subscription to a paid subscription after canceling the other subscription that you have in the old tenant. So you're not paying double to Microsoft, right? So Microsoft will help you to be on trial for that 30 days. And even if your migration has not been completed, they will still help you until your migration is completed before you start paying on the new tenants. Then if you cannot cancel based on the newcomer's experience on the old tenants, Microsoft will be able to cancel and delete and close the tenant for you after the migration has been completed. How that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Guys, you have any other question? You have any other question? All right, so let me jump into, okay, let me go through the frequently asked questions that you guys might not come to your mind. So one of them, all right, just a moment. All right, the first one, can I remove a traditional add-on? So by default, from Microsoft, you cannot actually remove a traditional add-on by default. You can't remove it. There's a process for you to actually do that. You have to contact Microsoft. They will be able to remove the traditional add-on for you. Another question is that how do I renew my subscription? So let's say in a situation whereby after setting up the tenants, for example, now you forgot to turn on recurring billing for your credit card to be automatically charged. So what happened in that case is that after that, maybe you're on monthly pay or a monthly frequency, for example, now. So after that 30 days, the subscription become disabled, but it's actually in grace period. So there is need for you to reactivate the subscription. So what happened is that on the admin center, if you click on that subscription, you will see the reactivate button. So you just click on reactivate. The subscription will be reactivated for you automatically. That's in the case when the subscription was actually disabled. But if the subscription got to a point that it has been deleted, you have to actually buy the subscription afresh. But for the legacy subscription, that's before we talk about the newcomers experience now. After 30 days, you have a 30 days of an in-grace period. But for the newcomers experience, you don't have that 30 days. You only have a day that you must reactivate the subscription. Otherwise, your data will start deleting on the accounts. So what happens when I turn off recurring billing? So is in addition to that, so if you turn off recurring billing and it's 30 days, it's time for Microsoft to charge your credit card, but they couldn't charge it. What happens is that the subscription will be disabled. Then what can cause my subscription to be disabled? So it's almost related to that. Is when recurring billing is turned off, you don't have a credit card, or maybe you're on invoice pay method, you forgot to pay for your subscription using the EFT, electronic fund transfer, or any other means that you use, then your subscription can actually be disabled. So how do I reactivate my subscription after it expires? So I explained that. So you see that reactivate button. So, but if you are not seeing that reactivate button, that means the other option is for you to go to your purchase services page or your marketplace and purchase the subscription again after it expires. How do I cancel my free trial? So maybe you just activated a trial, you just want to see how the Microsoft 365 Admin Center looks, you want to have a feel of the services, you're not ready to start paying. So what we recommend is that just turn off recurring billing on the free trial. So once recurring billing is turned, because after 30 days, if you don't turn off recurring billing, Microsoft will start charging you automatically. So, but if recurring billing is turned off, Microsoft will not charge you. What happens is that the subscription will automatically be disabled. And on your own, you can actually cancel the subscription by using the cancel button, because the subscription is in trial. It's not yet a paid subscription. It's only a paid subscription. You cannot use that cancel button. But since it's still a trial subscription, the cancel button can do well for you. But if you forget, it's always advisable that for every trial subscription, ensure that recurring billing is turned off. Can I cancel my subscription even though it was purchased through a partner? So this is another question that people ask. Is it possible for me to cancel my subscription? And the answer is yes. You can cancel your subscription from the admin center, just the same way you can cancel every other subscription. The only thing you cannot do is that you cannot buy more licenses. You need to contact your partner to add more licenses for the subscription. but you can cancel your subscription, especially in the case maybe you don't have you have a kind of disagreement, you don't want to use the partner again, you want to come to a commercial direct subscription, you can cancel the subscription. The next one is how do I move users to a different subscription? So I think I need to show us this from the admin center. So I think I showed earlier. So if you go to users and active users, for example, so let's say I want to move this user, Henrietta, I want to move her from the Microsoft 365 E5 developer that I currently have. I'll just go to the account, click on licenses and apps. So I want to move her to a different subscription. I don't want her to have the subscription. It's very simple. I'll just check this and uncheck this and save changes. So it's as easy as that. So just go to the admin center and the license that you want, just switch it and save it. That's actually how to move users to a different subscription. So the next question, what happened to my data and my assets when my Microsoft 365 subscription ends? So when you actually end the data, when you end your data or your assets, when your subscription has been disabled, it has been deleted, what happens is that your data has 30 days with Microsoft. After 30 days, if you don't reactivate the subscription, if you don't renew the license, then the data are gone. Although there are stages. As an admin will still has access to the admin center, especially the global admin, the billing admin, to reactivate the subscription or to buy another subscription. But the data actually goes after 30 days. So more questions. So some people that are using the invoice pay, for example, now, they will ask the question, okay, where do I send my wire transfer payments? So on the invoice that Microsoft provides for you, there'll be an instruction of a bank for you to instruction on how to actually do your electronic fund transfer. So the bank name will be there. So you need to put the invoice ID for the invoice that you're actually paying for, and some other details are actually listed there on the invoice that has been provided for you. Can I pay my invoice online? The answer to this is no. You cannot pay your invoice online. You have to use the electronic fund transfer. Although Microsoft has set either EFT, electronic fund transfer, and check payments. But from next month, Microsoft is going to remove check payments completely. So you can't pay through check. You can only pay through wire transfer. Can I change my current payment method to paying by invoice? So I'm currently paying using a credit card or a debit card, and I want to start paying by invoice. The answer to this is actually, do you meet the invoice pay eligibility requirements? So if you meet the invoice pay eligibility requirements, the first one, again, you must be a customer for 6 months. The second one, you must pass a credit check. The third one, you must be paying a certain minimum amount that will actually be determined by Microsoft. If that amount is not up to what Microsoft wants, then you'll not be able to pay, to change your payment method to paying by invoice pay. Can I change from paying by invoice to using the different? So this is not the reverse. You are currently using invoice pay. I want to pay by using a different payment method like credit card, for example. The answer to this is not actually a straightforward answer, but I will say no, because what you need to do is that same subscription that you have in invoice pay, purchase a subscription again using the credit card or the debit card payment method. After doing that, contact Microsoft. They will cancel the subscription that you're currently paying on invoice pay. So you can't automatically just say, I want to change from invoice pay to credit card. You have to purchase the new subscription with that credit card first. Then you can contact Microsoft, or if you can cancel yourself, if the subscription is a legacy subscription, you can just go ahead to cancel the subscription that you're currently paying using the invoice pay. Now, a question I was expecting, how do I get a refund after canceling or removing subscription? How do I get the refund? So if you are using credit card to pay for your subscription, for example, now, once you cancel the subscription or reduce the seat count, that's for legacy subscription. I mentioned that for the newcomers experience for billing profile, you cannot cancel or you cannot reduce licenses, but there are still some tenants that are still on legacy subscription. That means that they are still on credit card or this thing, they can cancel. So once they cancel, what happens is that within the billing cycle, a credit note to be generated. The credit note is more or less like Microsoft telling you that this is the amount that you're eligible to after canceling your subscription, because Microsoft actually charge upfront. So if I want to use subscription for September, for example, now, so from September 1st to 30th, Microsoft is going to charge upfront, and I cancel maybe September 7th, for example, now. I'm on legacy now. I'm using legacy as an example. I was able to cancel successfully. What happened is that a refund will be generated. A credit note will be generated for me. It's going to state the amount of refund I'm eligible to. So once I receive the credit note, 7 to 10 business days after receiving the credit note, I'm going to get my refund in my payment instrument, either the credit card or debit card. But if I'm using invoice pay option and I cancel, I need to reach out to Microsoft. What Microsoft is going to ask is that which bank account do you want us to process the invoice after providing the credit note that you received? Then it will be processed for you. Microsoft is going to send the same process after raising the ticket with Microsoft. They're going to actually do the transfer to your bank details that you provided. Then lastly, how do I close my accounts? So there actually is a step to close your accounts. You don't want anything to do with Microsoft again. You can, first of all, reducing the number of seat counts, reducing the number of licenses that you have, deleting your users, removing your domains, canceling the subscriptions and all that, deleting the Azure AD, Azure Active Directory, which is Microsoft Entra ID and all that. And if you cannot do that, all you can do is just to reach out to Microsoft, and Microsoft will close down the account for you. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining. And if you have more questions, that's it from me. If you have more questions, you can ask.
Okay, please, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Okay, what's the question, Chrissy?
Okay, for example, you talked about the invoice. Is it applicable to a particular tenant? For example, let me use a company. If a company has that has stayed up to 6 months and has that invoice limit or access, is it just one company? Or for example, if I have 4 companies, can they all be under that invoice?
So far, each of those tenants meets the eligibility requirements. It can be on invoice pay for all of them. So for individual tenants, so they must meet those eligible. Yes, individual tenants. Okay. But if the company, sometimes you can have one tenant, but you had different custom domain, right?
Yes.
To the tenants. So that's still in Microsoft site, that is still one tenant, because let me show you.
One tenant.
Okay. Yes, it's still one tenant. If you go to settings, for example, now, click on domain here. I hope you can still see my screen. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
So for this particular tenant, I only have one custom domain. Let me show you the other tenants. This one, I think. Click on show all. Click on, where's my settings? Okay, domain. So for this tenant now, I have a company here, company B, company C, for example. Now, they are still under one time, because at the end of the day, if I'm raising tickets on Microsoft, any issue that has to do with billing that you're raising on Microsoft, this is what Microsoft will use. This defaults on Microsoft domain. That is what Microsoft uses to troubleshoot it. So they are seeing it as one tenant, even though you're adding, you can add up to 900 custom domain there, but it is still one tenant to Microsoft.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question, guys? I know the time is fast spent. We are actually over 30 minutes. Yeah, Ini, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. So you mentioned something during the FAQ where you talked about why is my subscription disabled, and you actually mentioned not renewing your subscription or not turning off recurring billing. Could that be the only reason? Reason why I asked is because I've seen a tenant where their subscription was disabled because of fraud. Microsoft do some check. So what other reason could actually affect customer subscriptions to get disabled apart from not updating their payment method or not renewing their subscription?
Okay, like you said, fraud is one of the reasons. Then another reason is that if the credit card they have has expired, they didn't pay attention, and after the credit card expired, they added a new one. So most customers, what they do is that they will go to payment method here, and they will add a new payment method. Now, after adding a payment method here, if you see there's a clause here. New payment method do not automatically pay for your subscriptions. So you are expected after adding a payment method here for the new, maybe the old card expired, you now added a new card. You still need to go back to your product page here, then go to the subscription and go and update, replace the card. I don't have a paid subscription yet, unfortunately. You will see the option to update. It's not here, unfortunately, because I'm not on a paid subscription.
Yeah, it's
So you see, yes, you see update payment method here. So the new card that you've added, you need to replace it here for that subscription. Otherwise, the subscription will be disabled. So those are the other ways that the subscription can be disabled, actually.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, Ini. Please, guys, any other question? So I wanted to show us different product page. I just remember. So for here now, we have for small business, for example. For here, we have for frontliner, the F1 and F2. For here, we have the non-profit. And the beauty about the non-profit is that you have up to 300 free for 300 users for business basic, then up to 10 free. So Microsoft is giving you a grant of 10 for 10 users free for non-profit. Then for the Edu, Microsoft has actually changed it. So we have the A1, the A3, and A5. The A1 is actually free for up to 10,000, or depending on the size of the school, 10,000 or 100,000 seats. But there are some there are some verification you have to do before the tenant to be tagged and Edu. Then we have the let me go for the compare the standalone subscription Exchange Online plan. So if you go to like the standalone for Exchange Online, for example, so you see the Exchange Online plan 1, Exchange Online plan 2. That means the only service you have access to is just Exchange. If you type compare SharePoint online plan as well, you'll see the same thing too. So you see SharePoint online plan 1, you see plan 2 as well. I don't know why this is not giving you plan 2. Then the same thing for OneDrive for business as well. All right, you can ask a question, please. If you have question, you can ask a question.
Anyone with question, please, you can ask your questions right now. It's Emmanuel. I want to say thank you so much, Emmanuel. And this is what I'm going to say. Can everybody hear me, please? Can you unmute if you can hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes,
All right, okay.
can.
Everybody, this is Temi Dyer speaking. So basically, I was opportune to just mute myself all through, and I listened to Emmanuel Itoje. Please, we have over 22 or 23 persons right now. If you'd want us to actually bring him back to our Saturday's training, can you just drop a chat and say yes, please, guys? Because I was blown away by this teaching for tonight. Can you just drop a chat on the platform, please? Everybody just say yes. Say yes if you want us to repeat and bring him back again. Just drop yes. Okay, yes, yes, yes. Oh, I'm seeing a lot. Wow, okay. Okay, yes, definitely. Absolutely, Jesus Christ. I can't even pronounce it.
Absolutely.
Manuel, Mr. Itoje, sir.
Yes, sir, my boss.
I would actually want to say thank you so much for your time, because I'm gonna go through this video all over again. Yes, I happen to be a commercial specialist. In fact, at SME in commerce, but with what you've done right now is off the hook, man. I would say thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And for those in the intermediate class of the techie intermediate class, you guys, I'm sure you guys got premium teaching today, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm sure you guys got premium teaching today. And for everyone new joining us, thank you for joining. Ini, I love that question you asked. And I'm sure you also know about the duration you got before your account is going to be disabled. You know, the 30 days you have before your account move from the in grace to the disabled state. So there are different stages before it gets disabled. And that's how people get to know, okay, my account is not working. And do yourself a good thing by your billing admin or your subscription admin to always check your account every 30 days. At least check your subscriptions, check your account. Keep browsing through your account to get to know what the status is all about. So basically, that's what I encourage every organization to do. Every month, check up your account, check up what you have to do. Emmanuel Etuji, yeah, sure.
Oh,
Sure,
sorry,
bro.
that was a mistake. Sorry.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Can I ask?
Yeah, Toby, ask a question, please.
Okay, please. Is there a way we can get the recording of this training?
I'm also asking that question too.
Yeah, what's the
Mr.
question?
Timmy.
Okay.
I said, is there any way we can get the recording? Is there any way we can get the recording of this session?
Definitely. I'll make it available, and I'll put it up on the company's LinkedIn page. It's gonna be there, and we'll also put it up on the community platform on WhatsApp as well.
Okay.
So you can check it out. And for anyone who's not following the Dynamics Consult,
How do I get the link to the WhatsApp? How do I get the link to the community WhatsApp? I'm not sure.
You're not there.
That.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is what I'm gonna do on the LinkedIn page. Once we post it there on Dynamics Consult page, we'll add the link to the community WhatsApp as well.
Okay, sir. Okay,
so
sir.
from there you can join. Nice to meet you today.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. All right,
You're
sir.
welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir. So I'm seeing a lot of persons, so I'm just gonna give a shout out to everybody on this platform. But please, if I murder the name, don't blame me too much. I'm still learning. So
sorry, let me give a shout out. I have my guy on this call, Mr. Rashid
okay.
Okundiro. He's our MCT lead for
Yeah,
Nigeria
I know
and West
him.
Africa. Thank you very much, sir, for joining this call. I really appreciate you, sir. Mr. Rashid.
Wow. Mr. Rashid, nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you. I actually know him and actually know him. Wow. Man, that means we're honored to get great people here. And even Ponle is here. Hey, Ponle Binde. Nice to meet you too, bro. Okay, so I'm gonna
don't mind me, I told you, it's my girl. I'm learning from him. I'm just a secondary school boy, wherever you talk.
I'm
Good
here.
evening. I really enjoy this session, you know. And it's good to drink from the cup of knowledge of the people that knows more than you know.
We are learning from you, sir. We are following you.
Okay, let the shout out begin now.
So much. Looking forward for more of this
Sure,
sir, time.
Sure. I'm gonna reach out to you personally, sir. I'm gonna reach out to you personally.
Mr. Rashid is a data analyst specialist. So...
Yeah, I know his profile. I've read. I know him very well. But I've not met him one-on-one. So, but I
this guy, don't murder me. I'm just a secondary school boy.
Hey, all of us are 30. We are just in our kindergarten too. I'm sure every one of us are in our kindergarten. So, Hammerstone, shout out to you, bro. Cheesy Marcos, my G. Christy, what's up, darling? E. I don't know the full name of E, but E, shout out to you. Emmanuel, shout out to you, bro. Ini, shout out to you,
Good
bro.
evening, sir.
Hey, darling, what's up?
I'm fine, sir.
Shout out to you.
Emmanuel.
I've been following your work on LinkedIn. Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Shout out to you.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thank you.
Oludare, Osham, Ponle, Promise, Mr. Rashid, Rookie, my G. Oh, Shadrach, whoa, brother. How you doing,
Hi,
man?
Rookie.
Tobey McDonald. Well done, bro. And I think I just saw Timmy. Oh, Timmy, though. What's up?
Hi. Good evening.
This is a whisper. Okay. All right, guys. So thank you so much. And I think we're going to call it a night and a day and a morning. Depends on wherever you are joining from. So thank you so much. And feel free to reach out to me directly on LinkedIn, Temidayo Obasoye. if you want to ask any question regarding our follow-up classes. And I'm sure some of us heard me talk about the um, the intermediate training that is currently going on. You can actually make any request to know what it's all about. We're actually running different trainings: the beginners training, the intermediate training, and the professional training for people who want to get to Microsoft 365. And we also run different trainings on UI UX design, graphics design, web development, and software development in general. So basically, you can reach out to whichever one you're interested in, and we can get you on. So from my end, I'll say good night. And also, Mr. Etoje, I'll definitely reach out to you, and we're going to be having you again. So thank you so much for your time, sir. And thank you so much, everybody. And I'm going to be stopping the recording right now. So everybody,
All right,
see
thank you
you
so
on.
much. Thank you for joining. Thank you for staying even